Hello everyone, it's me, Carrie. Now, I'm a little under the weather right now, but that's okay because I have an exciting new update to the OSC Hot 100. Now, if you don't know what that is, you can check out my first video talking about this subject, which I'll link in the description, but it's basically a list of the largest YouTube channels I could find that make content about object shows on YouTube, and I have it hosted on my website, htwins.net, which is running a cron job so that it should hopefully update around once a day. So these numbers should be pretty up to date, basically. Now, when I first made a video talking about this on Humany a few weeks ago, I saw a lot of you viewers talking about how cool it was, because sometimes you would post screenshots showing yourself on the list and saying, it's so cool to be included in the OSC Hot 100, and I think that response is awesome. But I also saw some people on the other side who were asking, where am I? Where are they? Because they make object show content, but they weren't being included on the list. So, just as a clarification, I got my list of channels from this page on the Object Show Wiki that has a list of Object Show channels, but this is being updated by some anonymous contributors, and neither I nor those people know everybody in the OSC, so of course we're going to have a few holes in the list, but that's what this update is trying to fix. So, the update is that I have created this Google form where if you make Object Show content and you have at least 5,000 subscribers, you can fill out this form to basically send a request to me to add your channel to this list. And, I think it should work pretty seamlessly, but just because I'm still ironing out some kinks, give me a bit of time. So let's say, give me about a week, between you submitting this and it showing up on the OSC Hot 100. So I figured in this video, I could run through myself filling it out with one of my smaller channels, Abacaba. I think it should be pretty self-explanatory how to do this, but just in case, I'll do it. So anyway, you first have to put your email, and this is just in case anything goes wrong, which I don't think it should. But in case there's some weird glitch with your channel, I can send you an email and ask for more clarification. But I will just put in blah@blah.com because this is just a test. So what is your channel username? That's super self-explanatory. Just type in what shows up here. That's pretty basic. And then what is your channel ID? Now this is pretty important because YouTube doesn't actually use this to identify channels because multiple channels can have the same username. So the ID is a unique identifier for each channel. And this is Jack and Jellyfy's ID. But to find yours, I found that the easiest way is to go to socialblade.com and find your channel's page on Social Blade. And so the way to do that is take your channel name, like Abacaba, and then look through your channel description. So here I say, hey everyone, it's me, Carrie. So I might just take one of the words in there, like Carrie, and then I go to Social Blade and search Abacaba space Carrie. And the reason I do that is because if you just search Abacaba, it'll instantly jump to the channel page here, which doesn't have the channel ID. But on this kind of channel suggestions page, you can see this string here in light gray to the right of the username is the channel ID. It's UCEV6IT4 so on. And I think it's always 24 characters. They're always the same length. So you're going to copy this and paste it in here. And there you go. I also have the instructions for how to do that here. Pretty self-explanatory. And then I ask how many subscribers does your channel have now? Now I can find this myself with the code I've written, but this is just helping me to make it a little faster because right now I'm setting the threshold at 5,000 subscribers. So I want to make sure that if you fill it out but you only have 50 subscribers, I might not get to your channel during this phase. Basically, I'm setting this threshold because I don't know how many of you there are out there. So if I put this form out and there are only a couple hundred channels, that's manageable. But if there's thousands of people flowing in, then I might leave the threshold there. But if it is a couple hundred, maybe in the future I could lower the threshold from 5,000 to a lower amount to let more people in. But basically I don't want to overload the servers with too much bandwidth. So we're going to keep it simple here. So I'll just put in 116,000. You do not have to put an exact number here, just a rough ballpark so I know whether you're above or below the threshold. And then finally, is your channel mostly OSC content or does it feature over half non-OSC content? So Abacaba is not OSC, so I would select this. And this info basically tells me whether to give you this kind of light blue badge to say whether you're not only in the OSC So, Chris Schwafer has a lot of viral videos about the incredible story of Minecraft, which aren't OSC related. I know that, I think Dan the Minifig has a really viral YouTube short about their animation skills improving. So it's like, if you have a mixture, I basically put that badge to just answer that. And now you're pretty much done. So it's a very simple form to fill out, probably like less than a minute, or maybe like 5 minutes. But here's another update. Like, everything else below here is optional. It's like extra credit. So on the OSC Hot 100 form, okay, by the way, let me just like go through this entire list so you can see everyone as of November 22nd. Okay, now it's November 23rd, but it's just barely past midnight. So here's everyone I have on the list right now. The thing I want to point out, okay, first of all, Didentui is growing really fast. 7,000 subscribers gained this month, but also if I just sort by recent gain and like go by one day, it's the second fastest growing today, but it was the first fastest growing yesterday. 4,000 people all at once. Okay, that's not what I wanted to talk about. What I did want to talk about is that I have written code that can take a YouTube analytics report and import it into this database. So, Social Blade only is allowed to show data going back 3 years because of the regulations of GDPR. So if I go to 2020, let's say, and then let's just sort by totals, make things simple. This is basically the earliest data that Social Blade is allowed to hold on to, and everything before that is wiped from their databases for privacy reasons. But if you log into your own channels, you can find data much, much earlier, all the way to the very beginning. So if I click on this, let me move my thing to lower right here. If I click on my icon in the upper right, and then I click on YouTube Studio, then I can import any data I want. And I'm sure you've been to YouTube Studio before. Also, Abacaba gets so few views these days, it got fully demonetized, I think. But whatever. So basically, okay, I have already imported YouTube Analytics for the channels I do own. So I can actually scroll back in time to an older year, let's say 2012. And you can see how many subscribers Jack and Jellyfy had on November 30th, 2012. It was 4,452. Carrie KH had 1,202. And I also put out this form to a few of my friends, like Alex Lion 0511, who had 37 subscribers on November 30th, 2012. And what's cool about the YouTube Analytics report is that it's not truncated. As we know, the subscriber counts for pretty much any channel on the front-facing side of YouTube is truncated. So if I jump ahead to 2022, see all these zeros, we only get 3 sig figs in any channel we don't own. But if you log into YouTube Analytics, it'll have it down to the exact precise singles point. So basically, it's if I go to any year, let's say 2016, we know that there were more Object Show channels back then that had significant subscribers than just the 5 you see here. It was more than just Jack and Jellyfy, Carrie KH, Abacaba Cuberoll, and Alex Lion 0511. Animation Epic was already pretty sizable at this point, but so were Zany Leaves and 100DCX and many, many others. But I just don't have that data because Social Blade isn't allowed to track it. So basically, if you were an Object Show creator and you want to show that you were present as a significant member of the community back in 2016 or at any point, you can upload your YouTube Analytics report here, and then we can see the the full story of the OSC a little more fully on this list. So, okay, uploading your YouTube Analytics is a little bit more of an extended process. So I guess just check yes, let's do it, just to confirm that you are cool with it. Basically, I explain what's going on. The goal of this is to fill in the gaps of data, provide a more historical record of what happened, and then I also say this is entirely optional. So if you're concerned about the privacy risks of sending analytics reports to me, Carrie, you can always look inside the zip file to see exactly what you're sending me. The second screenshot below shows exactly what it contains. It's just a spreadsheet of numbers of how many subs and views you gained each day. That's public info from the past, so there's nothing private or sensitive. There's obviously no passwords or anything. This is basically what it is. On November 25th, 2020, Abacaba got 3,000 subscribers. On April 17th, 2019, it got 2,973, and so on. So this is what you'd be sending me. So this is the process to get the analytics report. It seems really complicated, but it's not that hard. It takes a lot of clicking. So, like I said, you go to YouTube Analytics. So we're already in YouTube Analytics now, but I guess let me just go back to normal YouTube just like to start from the beginning. So when you're on normal YouTube and you're logged in to your channel, click on your icon in the upper right, like, up there, upper right. So here's the Abacaba. Then you want to go down to YouTube Studio, which will take you to the Creator Studio with all these analytics. Then click on Analytics on the left side here. You can see my mouse, which takes you to the analytics. Next, you're going to click See More right here on the left side as well, because this data here just isn't enough. Now, once you're at See More, you want to rank, or you want to sort the data by date. You see date up. Well, okay, I think you can see it. Date is up here. And then you want to go to lifetime on the upper right, because this is only showing 1 month of data, but we're trying to get as much historical data as possible. And just make sure it's also sorted by daily. It usually is by default, but you can just double check. So this data is basically what you would send me so I can import it here. So once you have this, you click on this download button in the upper right over here, this one that says export current view, and then click comma separated values.csv. That's just a file format to store the files. And you're gonna get this zip file. So then you're just gonna open that zip file in your file directory things, and you can just rename it to, well, I would rename it to maybe views.zip, or maybe you could rename it to abacabaviews.zip. It doesn't really matter. Just, give me a sense of what it is. And then this is just views, but to get to subscribers, you click on this thing that says views date in the upper left. Okay, you can see what's going on. And then change the metric from views to subscribers, which is the fifth one down below overview. See overview, just go down 5 and click on subscribers. It gets you the same time frame, lifetime, but now we're measuring subscribers. And so you're gonna click download in the upper right again, comma separated values. Just like before, you get another zip file, and this time rename it to something like Abacaba subs.zip, subscribers basically. And so now you have your 2 files. So on the Google form, you can upload views. It should be views.zip. I'll change this, but it should be views.zip, and then you insert your file. Just want to make sure I got this right. So this is views.zip. So I'll just do that, and then it uploads. And then for subs.zip, let's do that. And there you go. That's it. That's literally all you have to do. Here's what the inside of it, yeah. And then optional, if you have any feedback, you tell me here, then click submit and we're good. Me, Carrie. Submit. So I think, you might have to do some CAPTCHA things. Is that a bus? I think it is. And then I will be able to do stuff with it. But even if you choose to not send me the analytics report, I will still include your channel in the database, because all the 200 or so channels I have been tracking, the vast majority of them don't have analytics reports, but they still have data from the last 3 years.